Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about what did abuse taught me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Elena Georgiou. I'm a global survivor ambassador and global changemaker, gender-based violence expert, co-host of the Miss Texas Show, author, winner of the International Book Awards and Humanitarian Awards, and feature Storyteller Award. I am also the Global Council Network's founder. I started the Global Council Network initiative in 2023 to bridge the world and join the forces to end abuse. I'm aiming for 195 countries. So far, I have reached 28 countries in February. I'm also the host of the Global Council Network podcast. Through this podcast, you will learn the story behind our active members, advocates, community leaders, and changemakers fighting to end gender-based violence, early child marriages and teenage pregnancy, child sexual abuse and trafficking, and many other stories. These are real stories that are happening today in the fast-growing society. Abuse taught me that we choose our partner due to our unresolved trauma and to be able to face it and heal. And if the pattern continues, you need to resolve whatever it is. And it will continue until you learn the lesson. It's the kind of pattern that reminds us of what happened in the past to confront our unresolved issues or gain control of something we didn't have control over as a child. In my case, my parents abused me, my ex, and my son. A repeated pattern of abuse from father to son until I learned the lesson abuse was telling me. The abuse was the messenger to heal my childhood trauma, accept, forgive, and move on. It was a pathway back to remembering my child abuse trauma. The two men in my life and my son were the pathways for me to remember. These men saw their father abusing their mother. So abuse was a learning process and a lineage in the family. So all this happened for a reason. And I wanted to find out what that was. I came to experience abuse in this lifetime and have chosen my family and the lessons or roles they played as my abusers. I'm grateful for this abuse journey because everything that happened connected me today as we speak to my divine purpose and mission. I became the first success story in my family history because I rewrote my story and ended toxic patterns that stopped my family history and broke away from my negative expectations that were associated with me. I realized in my journey that I had shared experience with my ancestors. I wanted to end the generational curse in this family history. So I took the steps needed to address past trauma. And in this painful process, I reminded myself to be patient. It was a marathon, not a race. In 2019, I came to live in a village and discovered that my ancestors, 5 generations before me, was living here. Nobody told me about this, but I always liked the name of this village. I remember back in 2014 when I decided to exit from abuse and leave my home forever. I wanted to come to this village, but I didn't for a reason. Maybe I wasn't ready to face the truth. But in 2019, I was ready. I found a flat to rent. It was the right place to come back to me and heal. I was curious about what happened in my family history. I wanted to discover the pattern, the shared experiences with my ancestors in my attempt to heal the generational curse of my family tree and child abuse trauma. I wanted to heal the 18-year-old me. So I investigate my family tree 5 generations before me. I chose by knowing which branch of my family tree was connected to my wound. I choose one specific because I was living in a village where I have found out that this branch of the family tree lived here. And to my surprise, They were connected to my wound and shared experiences. So my great-great-grandparents wanted me to come to their village for a reason. And the reason was for me to break the chain of this curse and free us all. And I realized this in 2021, and it took me 2 years to finally accept it. In 2021, my dad died and didn't include me in the will. I found out that I wasn't the only one. This kind of situation happened in every generation before me. It was a pattern. Someone was left out, kicked out, and left without money. And this is what happened to me also. This was part of my family history. All occurred in the name of power and money. The one with the money had the authority and the power to either abuse or do anything he chooses. And the 18-year-old of this branch of my family tree, some of them have experienced bad situations like me because they carried this wound, but not all of them. Others in this family branch had good lives and they never faced adversities. So I went back to discover what happened in a non-judgmental way, always, because I honor my ancestors and nobody's to blame. There was a death by neglect. Someone died and they neglected to take him to the hospital. He was 18. Another had an accident that kept him in a coma, stuck forever at 18. Another wanted to commit suicide at 18. And someone else left the house because he decided to go against tradition, custom, and whatever else the family wanted him to do. And to make this long story short, the curse was given to me. And I am very grateful to be given this and honored to be the one to break this chain. The shared experience I had were neglect, hatred, abandonment, disconnection, love with pain, abuse, pain, and suffering, and obeying the rules of tradition. So I decided to break away from all these expectations associated with me. I didn't want to continue being associated with this pattern. So I tried to rewrite my success story, and I did. The solution was to break the patterns by acknowledging, accepting, forgiving, and moving on. It was painful. I felt anger, hatred, pain, and emptiness. But I allowed myself time to grieve, forgive, release, and move on. I came to acknowledge what had happened. I came to accept the situation, to learn the lesson about abuse, money, and power. I came to forgive myself and others that took part in all this shared experience. I came to move on. I came to turn things around in my life by rewriting my story. I came to change the game and my perspective concerning money, power, and abuse. I came to give my life a new meaning and understand all these lessons I learned. I came to share my knowledge and wisdom and help others in their healing journey. I came to give a solution to this generational trauma that haunted us for many generations. I now found peace, and the truth has set me free. When you heal ancestral trauma, you help stop patterns and other issues from passing to future generations. It is important to know that it is not to blame or disempower parents, as ancestral trauma is something they cannot control. Instead, you're taking the step to acknowledge trauma and change things for future generations. And that's what I did. If you're forcing your family to chase bold dreams, generational curses could haunt you. It's that voice in your head that reminds you of your past, doubts your future, and questions your goals. Generational curses look like toxic thinking, self-limiting beliefs, and a lack of mindset. Becoming the first success story in your family history means rewriting narratives and breaking free. Generation curses can be broken, but to break generational curses, you must be willing to write your story, just like I did. To be able to fully heal me, first I had to overcome the generational curse and child abuse trauma. Second, I had to do shadow work and light work. Both are important for enlightenment, especially when you desire to pursue your soul purpose, and I wanted to do that. The journey of trusting my intuition to walk down my soul path included both, because I needed to face all my fears to lead with my spirit. I needed to leave from my comfort zone, although it was very comfortable in there. Both shadow and light work is essential when bringing harmony to your ego and spirit, and I was willing to work through the shadows to create emotional and spiritual healing. However, it was a space I avoided, denied, or ignored because I feared feeling my emotional pains, which turned into subconscious thoughts that became a belief system built on pain and fear. And this fear or pain came from my traumatic event of child abuse or something I have been taught that didn't align with my soul truth, or because I was carrying the emotional pain from the generations that came before me in my family history. As a child, I wanted to fit in. Growing up, I was taught that being a good girl meant being nice, respectable, and always wearing a smile. As an empath, everyone else's happiness was essential. So trying to fit in and be a good girl, I worked hard to please those around me. Unfortunately, all this led me carrying deep insecurities about myself, feeling like I didn't know who I was. And in the process of uncovering who I was, I've had to battle with myself. Being authentically me meant I needed to discover the shadows behind my fears and understand that by identifying as a good girl, I was limiting myself. And trying to fit in, I wasn't allowing myself to stand out in my naked truth. The depth of my shadows carried a lot of emotional wounds, and I had built a belief system that was unsupported if I wanted to follow my soul path. So I worked through the shadows to overcome the fears and heal the emotional wounds attached to these fears. I healed myself. Nobody could provide me healing because my wound was deep, and I was the one to heal me. Many therapists, healers, and coaches usually offer a quick fix to your issue, and they just couldn't provide me with what I needed. I needed to set myself free and was the only one to do it. I took responsibility for everything that happened and understood my role. Meeting myself, aiming to set me free, loved my shadow, loved me, faced my shadow, and faced a challenging and painful period of my life after my dad's death. I had to forgive him and set both of us free. I also met emptiness and then acceptance and forgiveness of the generational and child abuse trauma. I found a way and healed it. And liberation could be achieved through questioning, research, and study. I did a lot of reading and implementing to find the whys and heal. My writing and journaling became my healing tools. I was guided to sit and write and listen to my inner voice. I used to wake up in the middle of the night to write nonstop. I was guided to write books, research, and listen to divine messages. Some workshops, courses, and training I participated in helped me find new ways to move forward. My academic studies helped me research and study more deeply into the issue. Being an author and a storyteller helped me heal by sharing my stories and lessons in life to inspire change. It had a humanitarian cause behind it. Being a researcher of domestic and campus violence helped me heal by creating results to improve victims' lives and research to study the generational wounded child abuse trauma, aiming to heal me and others. And it had a humanitarian cause behind it. Meditation helped me feel completely relaxed and refreshed with a great sense of calm and overall well-being. In addition, community service helped me. I'm a Global Survivor Ambassador at Hope Picks Global and an encourager, vocal contributor, storyteller, changemaker, and leader working on my 2 initiatives at World Pulse. These communities offer me social connection, belonging, sharing, and interaction. And all these I have mentioned were my healing tools. I have been training myself to become the woman I am today, and I didn't have anyone to support me. I was the one to support me. All the lessons abuse taught me helped me reconnect with who I am today and listen to my inner voice. I was divinely guided, and I communicated and connected with my ancestors, my angels, my higher self. And God had my back always. Every step I took, every new book I wrote, every new course, and every new research I wrote brought me closer to who I am today. And to summarize all I said, I am proud of the woman I have become. From 2021 until 2023, I accepted opportunities, participations, invitations, and nominations. I said yes to all of them. And I'm happy that I did because all these took me where I was supposed to be. I'm grateful for all the people that have given me these opportunities because these people believed in my greatness and that I was made for this. These opportunities didn't create my success, but I did. I put hard work behind them, and these opportunities became my pathway, a door for me to open and gain success. I worked hard, and nobody forced me or paid me to follow through in all of that I did. It's not the opportunities, the invites, or the ideas spoken between us that can create any success, but you. I made my success. I had put myself out there, showed up, and tried my best, and in the end, I succeeded. I said yes to myself without knowing where that journey would lead me, but that path helped me become a powerhouse, a bridge, a transition, a trailblazer, and a gift to humanity. Because I embodied my full power, tapped into my essence, felt it, sensed it, and become it. Be willing to work through your shadows to create emotional and spiritual healing. Stop avoiding that space, denying or ignoring because you fear feeling your emotional pains, which these pains can turn into subconscious thoughts that become a belief system built on pain and fear. Break out of your prison and free yourself. Thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel to receive more stories like this. Or if you want to become a member at the Global Council Network or participate in my podcast, just send me an email. I will give information underneath this video. Thank you for watching.